Good afternoon. Good to see everyone here today on this beautiful sunshiny day. Little wind, but that's not bad. We're gonna call our work session of the Edgefield County Planning Commission for December 11, 2025. We're gonna call it to order this time. No guest speakers, no old business. Everything is new business. Review of a zoning application permitted for Parkers 174 072 174 071 and 174 040 located off Greenhouse Road in Trenton. Review of the proposed Edgefield County 10-year. Oh, that's later after that. That's a part of our new business, but first we get to the review of the zoning application. Let's see, we have here proposed for rezoning. Applicant is Richter Vance. Richter Vance. He in the house? Okay. Van, V-A-N.
Two N.
Two N, V-A-N, okay, that's okay. I never seen it Van, but the V-N, V-A-N, okay, all right. You're from the Edgefield County Van?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Property size here located in Trenton, 54.64 acres. In one section, 14.49 acres, and the other is 48 acres.
.48.
Yeah, 0.48. Right now, it's general commercial, and you want to change it to industrial type, I think, use. There's 3 lots here, they got water, sewer for the county, and so forth.
All right, so if you want, I'll just give you all a brief
give me all the details on it,
overview
right.
of it. So it's these 3 parcels right here. This one, this little teeny tiny one, and then this big one. It is light industrial under the comp plan. They're asking for rezoning to industrial. Of course, yes, it does have water and sewer and all that, but the biggest and most important part is it has a large, high-pressure natural gas line on it. The intended purpose, which is not under today's discussion, if the rezoning goes through, they'll have to come back and do the actual development plan. But the batch plant on Highway 191, they want to move that to this location.
The what plant? I get
Batch plant.
batch?
So manufacturing road material.
Okay.
That's the one, the Shatterfield, like Shatterfield.
Yes, it's Satterfield.
Shatterfield, yeah.
Yes, yes. This is a large acreage tract, and they intend to build in the center of it. I don't have exact plans or anything like that, and I'm sure that they can answer your questions, regarding the development better. But as for the rezoning, they're looking to change it to industrial. Of course, there is a large industrial property right across the street. That is Sarah's Farm Adventure. They have access to both US 25 and Greenhouse Road, which is important for stacking trucks and making sure that they're not interfering or causing traffic issues with, as y'all know, this little dot right here is Sarah's Peach Stand, and when it gets going, it can get congested. So they have enough land that they can have outlets on Greenhouse Road so that they don't disrupt the traffic flows.
Is that across from the,
Prison.
well, not the prison, but
It's right next to Costa Farms' big industrial greenhouse. Yeah,
on the
and
same side of the road?
It's on the opposite side of the
That's
road.
what
So
I
it's
was-
directly across from where our recycling center on
Right,
Greenhouse
that's what I was
is.
thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So our recycling center on the map is right there.
Right, and so it's right across the road
It's
from that?
this, yes.
Okay, right
It'll
above
be,
where the
it'll
stop
be
is.
somewhere in here.
Okay,
Now, if y'all have questions about, what they intend to do and the size of it and all that, I'll let them answer that. I don't have development details yet because we haven't got to the development application yet. But from a legal standpoint for the rezoning, there's no issues. There's no obligations. So that's the introduction to that item. And y'all can come up and
You wanna come up and
if you,
kick it?
if you want, y'all can go ahead and come up and
band.
introduce yourselves.
Come up.
We apologize, there was an accident on US 25, as I said earlier, and got people delayed a little bit. This is, Meg, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Meg Adams. I'm with Austin and Pethick. We
Represent Satterfield and
And I'm John Henderson.
John Henderson, and I'm
Satterfield,
Gene
yep.
Sarton, the president of Satterfield Construction.
President,
Yes, and John's our manager in the.
I always wondered what you look like.
That's
Keep
me.
up with yourself.
I'm the
No
old
problem.
man.
You inherited it for a while
Oh,
now.
man. Go ahead.
All right, now you want to, kinda
John is on the
give
phone.
us
Would you
a
like to
layout of
give
what
him
you,
an update?
plan, you know,
Yes, sir.
detail.
How far did y'all get?
Just now.
Just now?
Give him a little information on the center of the property.
Okay. Yeah, so we're looking to put an asphalt manufacturing facility here at this location. I think we're going to combine 3 parcels into one in order to not including the little building there that's on 25. So it'll be those 3 parcels combined into one, and those tax map is actually not correct. It does not go across those greenhouses in the back, but
Yeah, but y'all already know that that's just an image that the satellite superimposes on the tax map, so.
But we have had it surveyed, so we know it doesn't cut across those greenhouses. We are gonna propose in the future plans to leave at least a 50 to 75-foot buffer, all the way around the perimeter that will not be disturbed. And as you can see, it's pretty heavily wooded, so, our object is to, be a good neighbor and be not heard or seen, so, other than that, that is,
One of the reasons for locating is the natural gas availability.
yes.
And the quarry, proximity to the quarry. So we're a large supplier of aggregates from the quarry here in town. We're one of their largest customers. So it puts us 3 miles, 3.2 miles to
So
this
that-
site.
That'll put you, so right now, you're gonna close the, other plant down?
Yes. And it's not gonna exactly, we're not just gonna move that one, we're gonna put in
New
a lot of
equipment.
new components.
Yes, well, one of the biggest things that I remember in one of our phone conversations, I think, was your current plant works on a diesel fuel type substance. It's not actually diesel fuel. I don't know the science of it, but it's a diesel fuel like substance. And by moving here, they can get rid of the need for all of that and be on natural gas, which is much cleaner and less smelly and effluent producing, et cetera.
Yes.
Environmentally friendly.
That's a big thing for us because we have to store a ton of fuel now to run off of fuel. Cut that back drastically.
And that'll cut the traffic down the other way.
Well, so I did discuss with them my concerns about Sarah's. You know, when it's in full swing, it's a fairly busy area. So there, I think we're willing to discuss having, you know, like a primary entrance over here on Greenhouse. That's not to say there can't be a secondary entrance somewhere over here, but having that ability to go out Greenhouse allows them to avoid
Sarah.
the Sarah's.
Or maybe they could come in off of 25 and come in off of 25 and come out on the greenhouse.
So we'll have a traffic study done
Alright.
whenever we do our construction plans. But right now, our tentative schedule is to have 3 entrances because we really have to deal with Sarah's 2 different ways. One on greenhouse when
Farm
that's
Adventure.
open, and then Sarah's the fruit stand on the other side. So our plan is to try to have 3 driveways permitted so we have different accesses depending on where the traffic's.
And I haven't brought this up even to John yet because we haven't got through a permitting process, but can I step over here?
You can.
Our plan is, to be honest with you, is to come out here in front of Sarah's and put decel lanes in the center, which would be at our expense. So a turning lane, for example. So now, I can't touch it.
It's touchscreen.
Oh, I'm
so if you
sorry.
touch it, it'll-
I thought you said don't touch it.
Yeah, it's touchscreen,
So
so if you touch
basically,
it, it'll
if
move.
you've ever been coming from Augusta when Sarah's is busy season, and somebody's waiting to stop to turn left, it's really hazardous because they can run in the back of each other. So we would put in a turning lane out here on 25, which would relieve that and allow people to go around, people waiting to turn left or right from either direction. But I just can't make that promise yet because we don't know if we're allowed to do that yet because of the DOT right-of-way situation. But that is in the plans. If that helps.
Now, I never been inside one of your plants I'm familiar with. You actually don't do any quartering. You haul all your ingredients in, right?
Yes,
That's what I noticed that one hadn't been down for years, and I never noticed all that.
And the predominant use of this property will be, yeah, if y'all clear 15 to 20 acres, most of it will be stockpiling, I imagine. Yeah.
And that is about our footprint, is we plan on using about 20 acres of this facility.
What are your hours of operation daily?
They do vary. We start in the morning pretty early. We usually start about daylight in the morning. And typical work hours, 5. So that's not to say we won't have a one-off job sometime during the year that we may work nights or something, but that's pretty uncommon. We try to avoid it if possible.
What are you having today? I've been trying to figure it out. What you having today on trucks out of, you reckon right now?
Some days we don't average any and I get upset.
I know, but, I know that, because lately you've been pulling to 23 and 28, right? Okay, so that was pretty,
It could be
It's somewhere between 50 and 60
50 and
loads.
60 trucks.
okay, that's about what I've been trying to estimate it from what they was pulling in that long pool, and I was trying to figure out the, the cost and all, when you go down your distance, right? Okay.
Have y'all done any traffic preliminary, okay,
That's a long
let's
pool.
skip your preliminary traffic. What does your current one, on average, trucks?
That's about right, about 50
50 to 60 a day.
That's about right.
Yes.
Well, what I've been counting. I didn't know about this, but I just been, being nosy and counting.
Have y'all, looked at any, whatever you need to do to mitigate, wind drift? Like if you create dust or whatever you might stir up over there, where you mitigate that so you're not affecting the greenhouse business close by and their plants and not have an environmental impact on their plants?
DHEC does require us to keep our stockpiles moisturized. We have to maintain a certain
Sprinkler
moisture for
system.
the
Okay.
actually for the rock, for the mix. So there'll actually be a sprinkler system on the
Okay.
stockpiles.
'Cause that was my biggest concern, doing something industrial close to the greenhouses, is what effect it would have on their business.
And that's
With
partially
their
the reason we
plants.
want to leave such a buffer.
And,
Yeah.
and just as a FYI for, just a FYI for the planning commissioners, I know that they have had conversations with Titan and Costa, but I have also called Titan and Costa myself. Titan is on board with it. They don't have, any objections. They were quite happy about it. And Costa's response to me was basically, if it doesn't affect me, I don't care. So,
I would say at certain times, they'd probably generate more dust than we could with those open fields and flat areas. Honestly. to be
Well, your
honest.
dust is different though.
So right now,
the only comment I would say that would be different is their use is industrial, and Costa and Titan is agri-industrial. So that is a difference, but it's still not inappropriate zoning to be industrial. Even if you change the whole, all of Costa's property to industrial, it would not have any effect on Costa at all. So the area is already industrial. I think this is the nearest residential property, right there.
Yeah.
There are no other residences
And has that
in the area.
homeowner been notified?
No, they are several properties away from it.
Okay.
They are 1, 2, 3 properties away.
And we do,
But-
our site will be paved, all the roads coming into our site.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be like you're driving on a dirt road with dust flying. We
Okay.
pave our roads and we have sprinkler systems on timers that keep the pavement wet.
But I will say that I did have a conversation on the phone with several people that live in the area. And once I explained it to them, they decided they weren't going to show up tonight. So That doesn't mean that once we get to the actual development plan, more people won't show up. You know how that goes. Once we announce there's a development of any sort, that gets attention, so that could change. I can't make any promises there, but so far I haven't received any real feedback. And then, their two biggest neighbors I did talk to personally.
County council will have another public hearing, so they'll get another opportunity to.
Yeah, so the rezoning will go to county council, of course. What y'all are doing tonight will be to recommend for or against for council. It goes to them next. I have advised them to at least wait until the second reading of county council before they make any submittal to us for an actual plan. And then it will come, the actual development will come to you twice. And then that's it. It won't go back to council for the development, just the zoning.
One extra step before it goes to the last step is we have to be and follow a process with South Carolina DHEC. I still call them DHEC, but they're
Department of
DES.
Environmental
It
Services.
also has to go through their public notification and public hearing if so needed. So it's major steps. It's not just the zoning, it's got to go to another step after that.
Yes, and on this particular, what
Their modeling.
they're and intending to use it for, DES is gonna be a harder hurdle than Edgefield County will be, for sure.
They always are.
Let's see, I'm trying to think. Right now, you say you cook, you do your heating with diesel, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you have to use that additive in that diesel like you do the trucks to keep down the pollution?
No.
You don't have to, okay, I was just wondering, so you use off-road?
A filter system with like 900 bags in it that are 8 foot tall. It's part of our requirement from DHEC.
Oh,
Filter
okay.
system.
So if you went to natural gas, that would be a
It's
saving and cleaner too, right? Right, okay.
And natural gas burns even cleaner, which is awesome.
Okay,
And then we're required by DHEC every 2 years to run certain tests to stay in compliance. They come to our site every month for inspections, record keeping. It's a tremendous amount of responsibility, but it's part of being good neighbors.
You have any?
I think
Are you pushing the property now? You on contract with it?
I'm sorry.
It's under
Property.
contract.
It's under
On
contract.
contract,
pending.
okay, pending, good, all right.
Landowner is here.
So he the landowner?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Have y'all asked about the noise? Because I know that's a question that we're gonna get.
What?
Noise.
Noise for neighbors if, really don't hear anything.
It's gonna be any more than tractor trailers that are currently running up and down the road now, to be honest with you.
Make no noise.
That'll be the minimum,
Mm-mm.
especially with the buffer.
You don't know how to do
Yeah.
it.
It's hard to see that there would be any impact on anything with that large of a buffer all the way around, so, yeah,
Well,
appreciate that.
like I said, we're good neighbors. We're conscientious of being good neighbors. We haven't been in business in this area since 1954, so we didn't get there by being bad neighbors and bad public communicators, so we want to do things right.
You might right. I remember when you went in business.
Well, I wasn't there
I
then.
know you probably wasn't. I don't have any more.
I don't
I don't have any other questions.
Thank you.
We thank y'all.
Appreciate it, yes, sir. Sloan did the first one. Out of Greenville, I think still in business too. Maybe done bought them up, I don't know.
All right, so we'll move on to
Do the
the
review.
capital improvement plan.
All righty.
So as y'all know, both county council and yourselves directed staff to start working on impact fees. This is a critical step for impact fees to be applied. We cannot apply them without a capital improvement plan. Now, I want to specifically denote that there's a big difference between the economic portion of the comprehensive plan and the capital improvement plan. So the economic portion of your comprehensive plan is your wish list. That's the broad 10-year picture of things that the public or the political entities in the county want to see done. And it will include a whole lot of things that may not or cannot be funded in that period. It's just basically a wish list that's prioritized. The capital improvement plan, however, anything that goes on this list is things that have to be funded. So every budget year during this 10-year period, county council will have to fund the items on the list. So when you go to edit this every year, because you will have to see this every year, you will have to redo this. It's important to only put things on there that you know for a fact county council is going to fund. Now, your recommending body in this case, council has the final say, so you can certainly recommend a project that, you know, you're not 100% sure on, but at the end of the day, council will have to determine the exact items on the list and associate the funding for them. I put some basic rules in there, you know, nothing that would be considered a common purchase or common maintenance or a typical expense for the county. And it needs to be at least a $100,000 project. Then I put all the legalese in there on funding guidelines, rankings, etc. And then when you get to the actual list, obviously EMS headquarters, as y'all know, the funding has already been sorted on that. The money is there. There are other ways that they can get funding. For example, we have the local option sales tax. You know, when that referendum comes back up, they could include an item like this on there and accrue some of that money, and then they can shift the money that is in our debt service account over to, you know, other items on the list. The second item that I put on there is a substation in Merriweather. So most of you probably know that our ambulance works out of the Merriweather Fire Station. Well, the Merriweather Fire Department, they could use that space themselves, for one, and two, EMS can't grow there. They're kind of locked in where they're at now. We still have a great relationship with the Merriweather Fire Department. It's not like they're kicking us out or anything like that, but we do need to think very soon in the future about securing a location and building a substation specifically for our people down there. We have not had any major developments in Edgefield for a while, but North Augusta is growing at a lightning pace. And even though North Augusta has their own fire and North Augusta has their own police, North Augusta does not do their own EMS. So anything that's built inside the city limits of North Augusta that is in the Edgefield County footprint is served by us for EMS. So that will require us to consider growth items in that area for EMS needs. We can work with the city of North Augusta and come up with ideas for joint public safety buildings. There's a lot of options, but one of those options also to acquire funding is impact fees. Now, impact fees do not apply on things like you're repairing the deck in your backyard, or you know, you're remodeling your bathroom, or what have you. It is new construction only. So if you are building a new home, that impact fee would apply to you. And that impact fee will have to be calculated based on a percentage of services in the area, and it has to be specific to an area. So you can't say we're doing a Merriweather substation and then charge people in District 1 on the north side of the county an impact fee for it. That's illegal. We can't do that. So we have to calculate that impact fee on the people it's serving and the percentage we think it will serve. And they will have to pay that fee when they get a building permit for new construction. There are some jurisdictions that have separate impact fees for different types of things. So you might have one for residential, one for commercial, for example, and they could be different. And it all needs to be calculated off of impact. But that is an option, and I think that's one of the primary things we're gonna want to use impact fees to collect money for is EMS. So that's why I put it on 2 and ranked it so high. Now, other things like Star Park, I put that on there. Star Park is mostly funded. The first phase is already funded. The money is sitting in the bank, drawing interest right now. So the second half, we have the funding planned, but you know how plans go. So it's on here. Other monies can also be used for that. We can divert PARD funds, we can use bond funds, we can use impact fees. There's a lot of different options. But I think given that we only build about 160 to 180 new homes a year in Edgefield County, we should probably focus that fee one thing at a time. Because we're not going, I mean, even if you charged a $1,500 fee, you're not going to generate enough money to build a building quickly. So I don't think we need to spread that out too much over multiple projects. We focus on a project, we get it done, and then at the next year plan, we renegotiate the fees. Because like I said, every year you will be reviewing this. You don't have to change it every year. It's a 10-year plan, so you're not required to make any edits or modifications. You can just have a vote on it and say, we recommend it stays the same, and then it goes straight to council. And council can vote and say, we're going to leave it like it is, or we're going to add $2 million to the pot. And there will be a separate fund just for capital improvement. After this is approved, then I can bring you the impact fee study. And the impact fee study, once it's approved, will allow us to actually apply the impact fees. So this is step 1 to that process. And then I'll answer any questions you have.
Did the college ever get back about the impact fee study or how?
So I think April has had a few conversations with them.
Right.
But I don't think the college has very much experience on items specifically like this. So I have started writing it myself, and I'm going to write the impact study, and then I'm going to send it to them. And I'm gonna let their math people go through my math and make suggestions, edits. They're also probably gonna have access to some data that I don't have. And I'll let them do that research and make any recommended changes. And then, of course, y'all are the biggest stakeholder in the process, so y'all will have to read through it carefully and make suggestions and edits. Most of the bulk of the document is going to be things that don't really need much attention. They're going to be census data and, you know, construction data and, you know, percentage of calls in specific areas, you know, how much is Meriwether using compared to county line. It's going to be a lot of data like that. None of that really will require any editing on y'all's part, but how we spend the funds and how much those fees are will be an important thing for y'all to weigh against, you know, are we being too heavy-handed, not heavy-handed enough, etc.
Do we know the amount of calls? EMS makes calls now in that area, correct?
They do.
Our EMS. Do we know the amount of calls and what the growth of that is now?
We do. I don't.
You don't.
But the
we
county,
do.
but the county does, yes.
Okay.
And I will have all of that in that document.
Okay.
So there will be a breakdown since my number one thing is a substation. I will have a project detail sheet in there that is just for EMS.
Right.
And I will go to the dispatch center and I will pull every call that they've had in the last 5 years and break that down.
Just to see a trend and see. where
Correct.
we
You'll
are.
see a trend line, and I can also, because we use a smart system, I can even tell you exactly how much of it went to new developments as opposed to
Right.
older developments, you know. This number of calls for areas that are 10 years plus versus 10 years, 5 years plus, et cetera.
So is that what's on this, chart that has the pink and blue on it?
Yes.
That's sideways, okay.
Okay, so,
Because I couldn't read it online and I certainly can't read it here.
yeah, and it was in the packet and it was very small, so I did ask her to email that to you separately.
It was emailed, but I even blew it up on my computer, but it's so fuzzy. Yeah, I couldn't read it.
Ian?
It wasn't clear to me at all.
I'll send it to you again tomorrow,
Okay,
and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, so the PDF that I created of it is saved directly from the document I created, so it should be perfectly
yeah,
clear.
I blew it
I
up at
couldn't read
home,
it.
but it's sideways, on the computer. I didn't have a way to turn it around.
Okay, I'll correct
But I blew it up to read it and it just,
Distorts all the way across.
it's distorted. You can't read it.
Okay, I will fix that and send it to you, and if that doesn't work, I'll print big copies and you can come pick them up. Yeah. But yeah, the items that are on there are
We
the,
are aging, you know.
I know.
so the items that are on there are the headquarters, the substation, Star Park, which is located in front of the law enforcement center on Star Road, and then, softball field. So the softball field one was added by David, and he's not here to talk about it, but I can give you a sort of a basic rundown.
But don't we already have the funds for that?
So we do not for the softball park. We do for Star Park.
Where's the softball field at?
So we don't even have the property for it
Oh,
yet. But here's the thing. We partner with town of Edgefield and Johnston to do softball.
mhm.
Each one of them has a field. And then we have some little league fields out at Bettis Park that we sort of retrofit for softball. The problem is our girls end up spread out. Nobody knows where they're practicing in any given day. Sometimes they're in Johnston, sometimes they're at Bettis Park, sometimes they're here in Edgefield behind the gym over there. So we have enough participants that we need to have a centralized location, sort of like, Bettis Park is for boys. We need a more centralized, whether it's 3 or 4 fields. I mean, we'd have to work out the finances. But the biggest start of the project, of course, is going to be where are we going to buy the land and put it. So that's going to be our first step is acquisition. But we do see a need within the next 10 years that's something we're definitely going to have to address. It takes a lot of property to do ball fields, so
How
that's
much- How much acreage are you saying?
well, it depends on how many fields we end up wanting to build. I mean,
Okay, so
you
in a
could
perfect
say
world-
20 acres if you want 3 fields, but if you want 6 fields, then of course, you're gonna have to go.
So how much are
40
we
plus.
looking at? Like, how many fields are we?
We don't know yet.
So the fields over there behind the National
So
Guard.
we have basically 3 fields that we keep people practicing on all the time now.
How many
So
are
it
at
would be
Bettis?
better to be more than 3.
How many are at Bettis?
So we don't have any girls softball
No,
fields.
Just field.
We have
softball fields.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 baseball fields.
So if we have 6 girls and 6 boys, that would be,
I would say that optimally, we need at least probably 4 girls softball fields. I mean, obviously, boys baseball is the #1 most popular sport in Edgefield County for those age demographics. But we have quite a few girls, I think we have 100 and something female now. So we have enough for many teams, and we kind of just find them time slots at whatever field we can find. And the only one that is set up to move, because you have fast pitch versus slow pitch, and you have to move the bases in different configurations for for different setups. And like at Bettis Park, we don't have the ability to move the pitcher's mound for female, so they kind of just draw a paint line on the line and they stand there. Now the softball fields that the town owns, which is behind the gym over there, that's an actual girls softball field, but it's the only one in the county.
What would, okay.
So
So you,
they'll-
for some reason, you can't do anything at Bettis because of the pitcher mound, right?
Well, so
Did you say that, or did I?
we do use them for practice,
Right, but for games, let's
but
say for games.
yeah, and we mark the fields and they do play games there too. But they're little league fields, they're not softball fields.
Oh, okay.
That's the primary issue. We're marking something for what it's not, and yeah, use your imagination, basically. Whereas girls softball is designed from the ground up differently than baseball is.
Okay.
And it would be good for them to have a place where they can practice, have tournaments, and actually, be fully loved
Yeah.
by the recreation department.
So those fields that behind the National Guard, those are owned by the county,
The National Guard in Johnston,
in Edgefield?
those are owned by the city.
Okay.
That's Dixie Youth baseball fields. And there's a Pony League field and 3 Little League fields and a T-ball field. 2 T-ball fields. Yeah, 2 T-ball fields.
That one over there by the gym, that's owned by the city too, isn't it?
It is owned by the city, and there's one multi-field. So the one closest to the gym can do fast pitch or slow pitch. Girls softball, so the mound moves from 40 feet to 60 feet. And the back fence can move from 80 feet to 110 feet or something like that. I don't remember the exact measurements anymore. But the fence is movable and the bases are movable. The other field is also a softball field, but it has been in disrepair for many years. I know that they use it for practices and stuff, but they play the games on the primary field. Now they do at the Armory in Johnston, they have another Little League field that's unmounded that they do girls softball there too. And this might not happen this year or next year or even 5 years from now, but in 10 years, we do see that as going to be something that we're going to have to address.
So, I had a question, Doc. For our January meeting, I'd like to, again, go back to mass grading and discussion. I'm still researching and looking at that and pulling information. So I'd like for us to discuss that. I know we have tree preservation. But in my research, I'm seeing that we still need a mass grading ordinance. Because there's going to be times when just the tree preservation is not going to provide, everything that we want in the county as far as mass grading. And then I also would like for us to discuss an ordinance for the data centers that are popping up everywhere. I've been researching that, and a lot of counties are putting in ordinances for that. Mostly they have control over mitigating noise that the data centers create from, surrounding areas. They have ordinances where they can't be put near residential areas. Ordinance where, because they use a massive amount of water, they have to have a loop, of recycled water to use. And I'm not sure what to do about the electrical demand. It looks like that has to be a state issue with those data centers, so that they don't increase electrical rates for the neighbors around the data centers. Because, the data centers are using up a lot of electricity, but I know in some communities, the power companies are passing that cost on to residential customers. But I think we need to probably talk to our Edgefield County delegation to the State House and Senate and see if the state can put something in there about mitigating that issue with the electrical usage. But I think for the county, we need our own conditional use ordinance if a data center is interested in coming to Edgefield County.
Okay. I will try to find some examples of conditional
Yeah,
use
I've been
regulations.
researching and trying to pull some, but I need more time to do more reading and research on it.
Okay,
But
sure.
if we can put it on the January agenda in our work session to talk about, that'd be helpful.
Absolutely.
Any more questions, anything? Hey, how you doing? Well, if not, we'll motion adjourn from this work session to the regular meeting.
Make a motion. we adjourn.
Motion second, all in favor? Right hand. At this time, we're gonna call the Edgefield County Planning Commission meeting to order for December 11, 2025. We'll have an invocation by our vice.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us all here tonight to speak about our county and what we can do to help it and improve it. Lord, as we come upon this season, the season of our Savior's birth, to celebrate. May we exude the peace and goodwill towards men that you offer to us. Lord, go with us and be with us the rest of this night. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
If everyone would stand and face the flag, we will do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Be seated. Our first item on our agenda is approval of our agenda for our meeting of December the 11th. Can I get a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the ayes have it, so will be. We need approval for October the 9th work session meeting. Can I get a motion?
Make the
Second.
motion.
Second, they'll get a second, okay. All in favor, right hand. Opposed, ayes have it, so approved. Now I need a minute approval for the October the 9th meeting.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor, raise your right hand. So it will be. A report from the staff.
And then we got the subdivisions, so we got 6 minor subdivision, 2 exempt, and 2 plat reviews. That was for the month of October. November, we had 5 minor subdivisions, 2 exempt, and 3 plat reviews. And on the back, you have your census report that gives you what permits were issued and for what. An up-to-date number.
And I can send you a more detailed version of that if y'all want it. It'll be monthly though. And it might not be, in line with the meeting. But I can still send it to you when it's done. It tracks single-family additions, alterations, multifamily, et cetera. We've issued only less than 200 home permits, but we've actually hit an all-time record for permits this year. We've issued 1,062 permits in total this year because every roof in the county has had to be rebuilt due to the hurricane, obviously. Also, this will likely never come up for you, but if any of the data line installers, fiber installers start harassing you, their permits are not being ignored. They are being slowed down. That's all. Talking with Edgefield County Water and Sewer Authority and Dominion and several others, AT&T included, their crews that do the 811 markings cannot keep up with the number of permits that have been issued. And the contractors are coming from all over the country. They're not any specific contractor. And they're not calling 811 back to ensure that the marking actually occurred. And then, as I'm sure all of you have experienced, the next day you wind up with a cell tower down or, a water line's cut or some other issue. So during the entire month, last month, I did not issue any new encroachment permits for any road, side of the road work. DOT is slowing them down a little bit too, and we are doing that just to give time for those 811 operators to catch up with their workload. And then we will start issuing again when they've caught up a little bit. So it's not being ignored, it's just being slowed down.
Can I ask a question on that line?
Certainly.
I've noticed, especially like online chat or things like that, plus with my own experience, the workers that are coming through AT&T and all like that, Carolina Connect, whatever else is coming through, they're leaving lots of trash. They're leaving lots of their building material or whatever kind of material. In my case, they drove through my front yard with their big truck, tore my front yard up, tore my driveway up. And it's not just me, it's lots of people. that were complaining about it. And they don't know where to,
So they need to call my office, so 637-4073, and they need to leave a message for our code enforcement officer. We have to, of course, the company that actually does the installing is not the permitted company. It's a third party, and they can be from anywhere. It's impossible to find the people who actually did it.
right,
So what we have to do is we have to go after the permitted person, and 95% of it is Spectrum.
well,
Or-
Spectrum was blaming AT&T and said
Of
that,
course,
but Spectrum
but
had
I
to go
have-
take their big machine out
but
of
it-
my yard.
But if you report it to our code enforcement, he can pull the actual permit that's in place and contact the project manager directly
Right.
and get somebody to come clean up. They left a whole, if you go the bottom parking lot down, right down there, if you
Okay.
walk down the old rail bed and look to your right, you'll see spools
Spools,
of,
yeah.
of leftover material that rolled down the hill that they just left and abandoned. So I have to get the road crew out there with a crane to pick it up and get it out of there because
And they leave their
so
trash.
it's a problem that's happening everywhere, and we're working on it. But I think the primary issue is the federal government put out a whole lot of money for rural internet, basically, and the state's portion got divvied out to all these companies, and the companies have waited to the last minute to get the work done. And so now they're pressing up against their deadlines. So there was a few months ago, I was issuing 13 or more encroachment permits every day. So extremely high volume of permits, and a permit could be anywhere from 100-foot section to 6 miles of road. So huge impacts in the area. So we're slowing them down just for our own sake. But if there are private problems, then they can call the code enforcement officer, and we can go after the company and say, hey, y'all need to go clean this up or restore this or fix this or replace a bush or whatever the case may be. But
I think
my
also,
office is who you would call.
another thing too is, they need to be respectful and, if they're gonna come park 20 feet onto your property with their great big truck, which means they drove a big truck to get the big truck there, and they're gonna leave it there for a certain part of the day, I think they should have to at least knock on my door. Other people have said that too. I read one just last night that, and it's unnerving, and people just don't know what to do about it. So now that you've,
Yeah, I'm sure the sheriff's probably about to pull what little hair he has left out of his head. I'm sure he's getting calls constantly, all day, every day. Unfortunately, like I said, these companies are third party, and they come from all over the place, and there's really no way for us to, we show up, if they're not actually physically there, then we may never see that company again. So we have to go after the permit holder. But you can always call my office. We'll take care of it.
thank you.
Okay, one question on that. The permit, that just cover the county state property, right? Or what? I mean, I know they're using right of way.
So
For
as-
example, if they going down Aiken Electric Co-op right of way.
Right. So as you know, I'm the CTC administrator for the county as well as my various other titles. And part of that is doing this, just like DOT, if you want to put something in the public right of way, you have to get permitted for it.
Right.
You have to submit paperwork for it and get that approval. And then you have to do 811, and there's several other steps involved in that. That way, if you tear up a storm drain or something of that nature, it's not on public cost. We can charge them for it. So I issue those encroachment permits as well, but only for county-owned roads.
Okay, right.
If you live on a private road and you've seen them and they did not get permission from whoever owns that private road, then they need to contact the owner of that road. And then, of course, state roads, they have to go through DOT. And
Right.
DOT and I are on the same page. Obviously, I don't know who owns every private road in the county, but DOT and the county are on the same page.
Right, so maybe that they got different methods. They using the drilling and the pothole. I like the pothole system because they don't make it big a mess. Depending on the crew. 'Cause I see what someone went through, you can't tell it being there. They
Yeah.
clean it, so, you know.
There are some, yeah.
They just, I said, I don't believe this. They don't even, I can't do that good a job myself when I'm doing digging. Okay, so much for that. Reports, no guest speakers, right? Okay. Public hearing, this Post and Planning Commission, we're gonna allow for comment from citizens regarding public hearing item on the agenda during this meeting, which is the, rezoning. Have anybody signed up for? Anyone for sign up for this?
Ashley Williams.
Hey, how are y'all doing tonight? My name is Ashley. I wanted to speak tonight in regards with the, I'm kind of concerned with primarily due to the close proximity to the school and crops. If it's rezoned from commercial to industrial, is that not what we're discussing? The three parcels being rezoned from
Right,
commercial to
rezoned from
industrial?
general commercial tab.
Douglas Elementary. That's right down the road? Yeah, okay. I'm concerned about that in regards with the potential to create hazardous pollutions, contamination, and noise disruptions. The Journal of Human Resources found that students attending schools within a mile of industrial pollution sources had significantly lower test scores. In Houston, Texas, a concrete plant operating within a mile of a school was exposed children to a carcinogen that caused nosebleeds and respiratory illnesses, which was also cited by the EPA. And a similar situation in Mossville, Louisiana, Port Arthur, Texas, and crops and livestock have been noted in multiple cases as well. And I also wanted to touch on, as you're aware, first and foremost, the responsibility of any board in power is to the community in which they serve. Leadership demands integrity, humility, and strength to stand up for what you know is right, and should be able to provide fact-based reasonings should your stance on any kind of situation changes drastically. Because shifting positions without accountability weakens public trust, true leadership is shown through transparency, fairness, and the willingness to uplift the people in which you represent. Should someone in a position of power lack these qualities or the ability to provide fact-based merit behind a change of opinion, maybe their vote and or position should be evaluated. Thank you.
Okay, that's all. Anyone else, that's all? All right, thank you, ma'am, appreciate it. All right, so much for that, we're having the more, we'll close the public hearing, we'll go further into our we're not having old business, so we're gonna have a new business. Now, new business at hand is the vote to recommend and final discussion regarding a zoning application submitted on parcel number 174-072-072, 174-071-071, and 174-040, which is located off Greenhouse Road. This application requesting that these parcels that we see on our map be rezoned from general commercial, general commercial to industrial commercial, which is ID. It's time we discuss that. I would like.
So y'all talked about it in the work session,
Yeah.
so somebody can make a motion to recommend that item. Then you go into discussion. If you have any more questions, you can ask the owner to step back up. If you don't, then you can simply vote on it and move to the next item.
Okay, I'll make a motion to recommend.
You say it loud.
I did. I made a motion to recommend.
Second.
Okay, in discussion.
Yes.
For any further discussion.
Yeah,
You
I would
might
just,
have to,
yes.
yeah, I would just like to address Ms. Williams' concerns. And I asked questions during the work session about that, because there are greenhouse operations near there, and Sarah's Farm Adventure and Sarah's, and that industry, the asphalt manufacturing industry, is highly regulated, federal and state, and they are monitored, I believe you said monthly? They are monitored monthly, and they do have to put in mitigation, I don't know, infrastructure to reduce the environmental impact around them. So I feel like the federal and state standards that they have to meet cover what our concerns would be as neighbors.
Also, on the noise complaint, it would be no more noise than is there already. We've already discussed that in the work session as well. And it's nothing more than a truck going up the road, which we have trucks going up the road all the time.
And they're gonna leave a wide vegetative
Right. It's a
buffer
70
around it.
75-foot buffer all the way around. So noise should not be an issue. Dust is not an issue because they have a water
Sprinkler system.
sprinkler
Mhm.
system that will mitigate any of the dust that goes. I believe it's in and out, and it's on an asphalt road, not a dirt road. So you're not gonna have dirt. You're not gonna have any of that, so,
What about trucks coming out?
they're gonna have, they're working on, well, of course, they're gonna have to have DOT approval. So, what, I'm not, hold on one second, let me finish. Of course, they're gonna have DOT approval, but it is their hope to have 3 in and out ways, and also possibly a, what do you call it, a turn lane that would help with all of that. So they are looking forward into all the problems that could arise.
Has there been any, mention of possibly putting in any sort of light, like traffic light or
That's
anything?
that's up to DOT, not them.
But what my question is, unless all the trucks are gonna go like towards Sarah's Farm Adventure, they're gonna be coming out on Highway 25 and
There's
people
gonna be
fly-
3 entrances, so it's not everybody's gonna head to that one entrance and go out that one entrance. There's 3 different ways to come in and out.
She's probably just asking if there was a really bad accident on the way here, right there.
Yeah.
I mean, but that happens a lot. I mean, there was just one today
That's what I'm
up the
saying.
road, but not there. I mean, we have accidents everywhere because people can't drive, so Lord
But
help us.
adding trucks like that can sometimes, we just wanna make sure that there's certain things put in place, beforehand, that's all.
Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
At present, the traffic is not gonna really change a little direction, cause right now, and for the past, down at Eureka plant, all those cars, those trucks are coming up with 91. And like now, when they're going now, like they hauling daily now, all those trucks are coming up, cause they gotta go up 25 and 283 and all. And so,
Just as a comment, this is a rezoning application.
right.
And they haven't even started the development application. When they get to the development application, we'll have a full traffic study to look at. And that will tell us a lot more about the traffic situation. This is not approving the development of anything.
Any more questions? We have the motion on the floor to approve, sent to county council for rezoning from of this spot, these 3 lots that we mentioned here, from general commercial to ID industrial.
Make a motion to send.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval, raise your right hand. Opposers, ayes have it, so we'll move on up the line. Let's see, now we need to vote on recommendation, final discussion regarding the 10-year capital improvement plan. For consideration, so we need a motion for that.
Make a motion.
Second.
Second, Motion and second that we're gonna send it up for consideration, right? Because we're gonna be working on it. All in favor of said motion? Right hand. Opposed? Ayes have it. We get it straight one day. And that's it.
I already lived.
I think that's all we have.
You got any words of wisdom?
Yeah, words of wisdom, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Christmas season, y'all have a Merry Christmas. We had a good year this year. I think it was kind of tough, but everybody kept self-control. Everybody stayed harmony, a little, take it, everything went. I really enjoyed working with all of you this year.
And we want to
And
welcome
I
our
know,
newest.
I know it's our challenge, we got a new member here, but she take a little time, she get in on that. But basically, I get a lot of comments from the public that, you realize a lot of people following us on, on the YouTube and all this stuff, and our meeting and all, and they think we're doing a good job overall right here, just out talking, So basically, that's about it. We look forward to another year working for the public, giving our input, doing the best we can, and as I said, I appreciate you not taking it personal, but look at what we can do for the county. And that's it. Motion for
Make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Motion
Second.
second. Motion second that we adjourn. All in favor, we adjourn.